You're watching the Mondays with Midja podcast. Midja is founder and CEO of Legal Leadership, a company specializing in the leadership training and coaching of lawyers. Get set to jumpstart your week with a shot of mojo as Midja and her guests talk all things life, love, and leadership.
Hey, it's Monday and I'm Midja, and welcome to the podcast all about life, love, and leadership. It's a short, sharp episode today, just by myself here in the studio. And I want to talk to you. Recently, we had a birthday party for my daughter Sophie, who was turning 17 years old. And the apple didn't fall far from the tree with Sophie because that girl likes to party. So it was a Saturday night. Party was in full swing. We started off about 7 p.m. and guests started to arriving, and it wasn't long before the house was filled with teenagers. The house and the backyard were probably 30 or 40 17, 18-year-olds. Were they making a lot of noise? Absolutely, yes, they were, but they were having a great time. And I don't know about you, but I remember being a teenager and how much noise I made. And let's face it, even now, when I get together with my girlfriends and we're having a laugh and we're having some champagne, it gets noisy, right? We get very excited about seeing each other. And so these teenagers were very excited to be out and partying and celebrating on a Saturday night. But suddenly, only 2 hours later at 9 p.m., the front door opens and in come two police officers who shut the party down. And they said to me that they had received a noise complaint from a number of neighbors and people in the street and that the party was over. And I was like, oh my goodness, of course I complied. I apologized. I said, I'm so sorry. And I got all of those teenagers out of the house pretty quickly. They said, we want to wrap this up within half an hour. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And people were like fist pumping me and high-fiving me on the way out. And I said, look, it's not a party if the police weren't called. So it's all good. Thanks for coming. Sorry it was so short. And of course, they were all milling about the front yard and on the street, calling parents. Some of them had to call Ubers because the night was still young. It was only 9 p.m. So where to next? And so, of course, after everyone had left, there was the close group of friends. And there were about 4 or 5 of us. We were all sitting on the couch, chatting about the party and sharing stories. And I said to my daughter, Sophie, I'm like, I'm so sorry, Sophie. Like, do you feel disappointed? Because for all of that anticipation and planning of the party, it was only 2 hours. And she looked at me and she said, but what a great 2 hours, Mum. And I had to laugh. I thought, that's my girl. Absolutely. And it just reminded me about living life for now and being really present in the moment. And so often I know myself and I hear others talk about like one day I'll do this, or when, you know, the perfect conditions come about, then I'll change careers, or then I'll write that book, or then I'll ask that guy out, or whatever it is. My dad used to call people that spoke about doing things but never did them, he called them gunners. You're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, but you end up doing absolutely nothing. So don't be one of those people. And to ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for things to be perfect? Because you know what? They're probably never going to be perfect. And for me, my biggest fear, I suppose, when I close my eyes at night and I think about the day, or I think about life and the big questions, my greatest fear is that I don't get to do the things that I want to do, that I didn't give things a try, things that I really wanted to experience. I wanted to give things a go, but I never took that chance. I never gave myself that opportunity. That's the greatest fear, is that I come to the end of my life and I haven't done that. And I've got regrets about that. So what are you waiting for? What is it that you're thinking about doing that, you know what, you can take steps today, this week, in order to make that happen? And for me, this podcast is a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful example of that, because you know what, is the podcast perfect? Is it exactly what I want it to be? Probably not. In a year's time, will it be different? I hope so. I hope I learn lots from it. I hope I grow and learn and make mistakes and change and do things differently. But that's cool. And certainly for me, it's been the same with writing books and business opportunities and working with clients, is to just give it a chance. Don't wait, but just do it now, because you never know when the party is over. When the last drinks are going to be called, when the ugly lights get turned on, and you are done. So this is my episode for this week. Get out there. I hope you have a fantastic week, whatever you are up to this week. Of course, subscribe to the podcast, like it, share it with a friend. I'm Midja, and thank God it's Monday.
We trust you enjoyed this episode of the Mondays with Midja podcast. Host Midja Fisher is a leadership expert, keynote speaker, coach, and facilitator. To find out more about Midja, visit midja.com.au or follow her on Instagram at Midja Fisher. And make sure you subscribe, share, and leave a review.